The third reason we do data visualization is that we want to see the data points and confirm the true story of the data. Sometimes we think we are the master of our domain and we have got a hang of our data, but we simply have not. Let's look at these four data sets: set A, set B, set C, and set D. Each of these data sets has a column X and a column Y. These data sets have the same means, the same standard deviations. The X and Y's are correlated, and the correlations are the same for all these four data sets. And lastly, if we fit a line using linear regression to these data sets, we end up getting the same exact line, as you can see here. These interesting statistics make us think that these data sets should be very similar, given that they have the same exact statistics. However, when we visualize them, we notice that the data sets are entirely different. For example, this one has an obvious trend and it's appropriate for linear regression. And on this one, there is a relationship between X and Y, but the relationship is not linear. On this one, there is a perfect linear relationship with an exception of this outlier, which exerts enough influence to lower the correlation from perfect to 0.82. And this one clearly has no trend at all, and plus it has this outlier. These four data sets were constructed by the English statistician Francis Anscombe. He constructed these to demonstrate the importance of visualizing the data before analyzing it. Anscombe wanted to counter the impression among statisticians that numerical calculations are exact, but graphs are rough and not exact. Again, the point is that statistical transformations tell stories, but the true story of the underlying data might be missed if the data is not visualized. Again, pure statistics are just not enough. Similarly, these entirely different data sets all have the same summary statistics, meaning the same means, the same standard deviation, and the same correlation coefficients. You might have seen this in your data science course when k-means clustering was discussed. Another reason for doing data visualization is to see patterns in data. Almost all of us are interested in understanding patterns and trends in our data. We want to do some exploration in our data. We want to discover trends. We want to find gaps. We want to discover outliers. And sometimes visualization discloses clusters of data, as you can see here, these four clusters. Why do we want to explore the patterns? Because we want to generate a hypothesis and then test it with the statistical methods and follow-up experiments. Here is an example in which visualization was used for exploring patterns and sense-making from data. On August 31st, 1854, cholera broke out in the Broad Street area of central London. More than 500 people died. And at that time, these diseases were thought to be airborne and were thought to be caused by air pollution. A physician named Dr. John Snow was skeptical about this theory. So, on a map of this area in London, he marked deaths by small stacked lines like these that you can see. And he marked 11 communal water pumps with dots like this one and 9 others. His hypothesis was that cholera is waterborne and the cause of cholera in London was contaminated water. Snow observed that cholera occurred almost entirely among those who lived near and drank from the Broad Street pump, which was this one. There was a cluster of cholera cases around the pump, and eventually the removal of the pump's handle prevented additional cholera deaths. So this visualization helped Dr. Snow reinforce his hypothesis that cholera is waterborne and to find that this specific water pump was infected. He also used statistics to illustrate the connection between the quality of water source and the number of cholera cases. This example shows how data visualization can enable sense-making from data and how it can lead to life-saving explorations. What helped Dr. Snow with his hypothesis reinforcement? He put the data in an appropriate context. His visualization highlighted the relationship between the cause and the effect. And lastly, he used the statistical techniques to show the connection between the quality of water in different parts of London and the rate of cholera. There are several remakes of Dr. Snow's visualization. For example, this one from 2019 is a 3D version that keeps the old style of Dr. Snow's map, and you can check it out on this link. Another purpose of data visualization can be summarized by this saying from Dr. Ben Schneiderman, author of numerous influential books related to visualization and human-computer interaction. He said, visualization can be a great medium for engaging an audience who might otherwise not care about the topic. And he's right. Dynamic, interactive visualizations can empower people to explore the data for themselves. In fact, some visualizations can make exploring data feel more like playing a game. Here is an example that visualizes European, Japanese, and American cars based on their horsepower and mile per gallon performance. We can have an overview first, and then we can select and filter and then get the details on demand. For example, we can only focus on a certain range for mile per gallon and a certain range for horsepower to see what options are out there. Here is another example which interactively visualizes COVID-19 data. We can hover the mouse over data points on the chart to see the exact numbers. Also, there are multiple drop-down menus. For instance, we can just focus on the data from the past 4 weeks. There are so many things that us as the users can do to explore the data for ourselves. We actually may find something that no one else has found yet. Now let's wrap up this lecture by going over the reasons that data visualization is important again. With proper visualization of the data, we absorb more information faster and with less effort. This is because data visualization reduces conscious processing and the memory load, and at the same time, it takes advantage of pre-attentive processing. Number 2, data visualization enables us to explain and communicate the data or an insight from the data to our audience. Number 3, with data visualization, we can see the data points and confirm the true story of the data. Number 4, data visualization facilitates search and discovery by enabling us to see interesting patterns in the data. And finally, number 5, with data visualization, we can engage the audience and learn more from the data. Alright, we will continue our discussion in the next lecture. I will see you soon.